as always. Madan notes. Yeah, it's really good initiative. I think it should continue every year.
Definitely, Shazeeb, we will try to continue it. Yeah,
that's true.
या अभी जो थर्ड बैच है, थर्ड ईयर वाले हैं, उनके साथ में, क्योंकि वो आप पास आउट हो जाएंगे जल्दी, तो हमने सोचा है कि वीकली रख लेते हैं। तो फिर उसके बाद में क्या करेंगे, हम राउंड द ईयर रखेंगे इसको, सो दैट बच्चों को एक मंथली इंटरवल पे या फिर 15 डेज के इंटरवल पे ये इस तरह का इंटरेक्शन चलता रहे।
Yeah, and one good news as well. Kajal from our batch, she got selected in MPI at Constance, so she will be studying animal behavior. She will be coming on 16th. Actually, she's right now in India. Her visa got delayed because of the actual situation, but she will be on 16th here in Constance. It's a city, small but very beautiful city near Swiss border. Around like right close to Zurich. Yeah, maybe she will join also. If she will have some time, because she had today corona test to do, because on Tuesday she has flight. So she said that if she will have time, she will join in. I don't know whether she's still already there or not. But
she's flying to Frankfurt.
She's flying to Frankfurt, yeah, and then she will go to Constance. It's far, it's up in the north, but yeah.
So she live in Frankfurt. You're thinking of a reunion over there?
Yes.
Hi, Madan.
Hey, you can hear me, right? I was kind of
we can't hear Ashna, ma'am. She's trying to say something.
Yeah, I think so.
Ma'am, we still can't hear you.
Ma'am, you're not mute, but we can't hear you.
Ma'am, we can't hear you.
Hi, Madan. We meet again after a long time. A year.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
Short of a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I was saying, can we have Ritu and Dipshika for a moment? Can you, if you both are there, so that I can just introduce our new teachers to you guys? Yes, so please, can you switch on your camera? We would like to see you.
Sure, ma'am.
And Dipshika?
I'm on my phone, though.
Okay, great. Dipshika is there. Satinder, can you put on the camera for a minute?
I'll take a snapshot for
yeah. So you can see we have 3 new faculties with us from BMS, Dr. Ritu Khosla and Dr. Rimpi, right? And me and Satinder are your old familiar faces. Though Satinder is not putting the camera on, वो नहीं दिखाना चाह रहा, वो अच्छी सी
मैम उनकी फोटोग्राफ इतनी अच्छी लगी हुई है,
बाल सफेद हो गए हैं, ना? वो ये नहीं दिखाना चाहता कि उसके बाल सफेद हो गए हैं. So anyway, I just wanted to introduce Ritu, Dipshika, Rimpi, 3 of them, right? So they are helping me out in this thought of mine, and Satinder is already there, right? So I just hand over things to, so I'm just trying to hand over things to them. I'm taking the back seat, and as I said, I'll sip a coffee now, and then the ball is in your goal. So all the 3 faculties, please go ahead.
So, welcome for the event.
Can join us.
So are we starting with the event?
Yeah, I guess we have enough students over here. So if our speakers are ready, we can start the event.
So Deepta, you can take over, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Ma'am, shall we begin?
Sure, so Deepta and Pratika, please continue. Start the event.
Okay. Good evening to one and all present here. I extend a very warm welcome to Principal Sir, distinguished guest speakers, faculty members, and my fellow colleagues to ANDC Career Counselling Series, with today's session being on Exploring Study in Europe and Interaction with our very own seniors. I, Sudeepta Singh, third year student of Biomedical Science Department, and my dear friends Pratika and Siddharth are extremely delighted to be the MCs for today. Going abroad for studies is a dream for a lot of us, and as appealing as it might sound, thinking about how to make this dream of ours come true is honestly nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. And with the tons of information that resides on internet today pertaining to how you can achieve this goal, it's great to have someone who took a similar path as you to help you resolve your dilemma. Today, we are fortunate to have amongst us some of our alumni to share their journey with us.
Pratika, you should continue. I think Sarah is not in the meeting.
Okay, sure. Before we proceed to the talk, I would like to request all the participants to write their questions in the chat box. We will be taking all the questions in the end. Please do not unmute yourself during the session. Thank you. So, with immense pleasure, I would like to introduce our first speaker for today, Ms. Aparna Shahandeep. She did her PG diploma in Forensic Science from University of Delhi, then moved to pursue Masters in Biomedical Sciences, Infectious and Tropical Diseases in Belgium. We're delighted to have you here today with us, ma'am. Over to you.
Hi, thank you for introducing me. As you all know, I did biomedical sciences in my bachelor's. Like most of you over here, I also prepared for medical examination, but somehow I knew I don't want to be a doctor, but want to focus more on research. So I started gathering informations about what else can we do after MBBS and came across biomedical sciences. Of course, it's one of the choices I would never regret in my life, because I think I got so much exposure in this course, which I may not have known at that point of time, but when I did my master's, I would really thank all of my professors and my friends. Most of them were sitting with me who took vivas, and we did group studies, not exactly group studies, but made practical files and everything who have helped me throughout my studies. So like you guys, when I was in my third year, I also wanted to go to Europe. So over here, Shrishti Vajpayee, she's my best friend. So we found a European education fair, which was held in Pragati Maidan at that point of time. We went and saw each of the colleges and what all courses we can do, which is related to biomedical science. At that point of time, two of my favorite subjects were molecular sciences taught by Archana ma'am and immunology. So I was pretty sure that if I want to do something, I should do something in this field. But again, I wasn't sure because, there's a lot of things that could happen. Plus, of course, BMS provided a lot of opportunity in form of DUIP and elite fellowship project. I did it under Dr. Gagan Dhawan sir. After that, I started applying for colleges, but one of the stumbling blocks that I faced while I applied was that most of the universities, of course I applied in Europe, but most of the universities that I applied were 4 years course. So inevitably I got rejected one after the another, and even if I got selected in the universities, there was no scholarship present, and it was the amount was skyrocketing. So I thought, what should I do? At that point, again, BMS came to my help. They organized a workshop on forensic science. It was the first time because our batch was the batch where FIUP got cancelled and the 3-year came again. So we did not. And that I came to know there's a 1-year PG diploma course that gets sold. So I mailed all the universities where I got rejected because I did not have 4 years of education, even though they required just 180 credits, that if I do a 1-year PG diploma in forensic science, would they accept it? They asked me curriculum. I tried to contact with the professors and also with the help of our BMS professors that if I could get the syllabus. I sent it to them and they were like, oh yeah, this could be a part of your 4th year and we can accept you next year if you apply. Apart from a PG diploma in forensic science, I also got to know Venkateshwara College in the South Campus also has a similar PG diploma course which has similar subjects as biomedical sciences. So choosing between two of them, I wanted to explore something new just for the sake because I already studied those subjects that were being taught over there. I went there, got my PG diploma, and finally moved on to do my master's in biomedical sciences with a specialization in infectious disease and tropical diseases. It's, I guess, a very, very interesting course because I think two of my favorite subjects, molecular sciences and immunology, came over there. Plus, it's interesting because you really study infectious and tropical diseases. I mean, coming from India, you see so many diseases over here, but a course specializing exclusively on that, you may not find it, if I'm not wrong, in India. So yeah, there were a couple of colleges I got accepted into University of Antwerp, and over there again, when I went there, I thought I'm so lucky to have chosen biomedical sciences because there are a lot of topics that they taught which I already knew there, and I could answer there very confidently, which helped me create a rapport between my professors and myself, which also helped me to choose my thesis topic, which was on creating nanobodies to target macrophages for Mycobacterium tuberculosis infection. All in all, I would say from BMS to PG diploma to masters in biomedical science, it's been a whole journey, and each of them is in an experience in itself, I believe. And as people say, it's very nerve-wracking. Yeah, at that point, you're like, oh shit, will I get a master's, or what will I do if I not get a master's? But at the end, I think it all comes together. It's just that you have to remain calm, look into the universities, see what they ask for. Because some of them are you have to have IELTS, you need to prepare an SOP. Those are some things that you need for every other colleges. So I think if you have the core material with you, it's not difficult to apply. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving us such a wonderful insight. The next speaker for the evening is Miss Srishti Vajpayee. She did her MSc in biomedical science with specialization in molecular life sciences from Radboud University, the Netherlands. Presently, she has got a PhD position at University of Heidelberg, Germany, and Siena SRL, Italy, under European Union's Marie Skłodowska-Curie Fellowship. It's a pleasure to have you here, ma'am. Over to you.
Thanks for the lovely introduction. And please don't call me ma'am. I still don't acknowledge turning 24 last year. It doesn't count. So, hi everyone. As Aparna introduced me already, I'm her best friend Srishti Vajpayee. And I'm currently doing my Marie Curie PhD under, I'm doing my PhD under the Marie Curie's framework of European Union at University of Heidelberg, which is the university academia. And I have an academia industry mix. So the industrial part takes place at Siena in Italy. So how it went, yeah. Sorry, I did not really prepare anything, but I've been like, okay, wait, give me a second. Yeah. So I did my schooling with Aparna, and we were those bio, maths, medical students preparing, going to Akash and everything. And somewhere in between, we just lost interest and we did not want to be doctors anymore. So I remember one day Aparna called me and said that mere US wale chacha or mama somebody, she called me and said that mere US wale chacha or mama somebody, he told me that BMS scope hai, BMS karte hain. And at that time, I did not even know what BMS stands for. I thought it was business management or something. But then we looked up at ANDC because that's what's available at University of Delhi. And we went through the curriculum, and every subject, when you see the curriculum, it's overwhelming with so many subjects that you actually like, and you don't see physics and chemistry, like physics especially. I hate physics. The thing you have been running away from for so many years, you don't see that on the curriculum. It makes you really happy. So we came here to BMS, and Personally, the first year I was clueless. I was just going through all the subjects, enjoying DU Fest, and enjoying this new freedom, getting out of school and everything. So that's how I spent my first year and maybe half of the second year. But then, like, you don't really realize when you're completely involved in this course, and you somehow start to figure out at some point by yourself. And that's what happened with me during my second year, that I thought that I'm more interested in the medicinal chemistry side. That is what interests me. So I started looking in that direction. But yeah, all the subjects were amazing, but I was more interested in the applicative, not the basic biology like molecular or anything. And that's what my criteria was for looking for doing my master's after that. Sorry. And I started looking for courses. I was lucky to find one at Radboud. I got scholarship. It was stipend money plus full fee waiver, and I was getting all the subjects that I was interested in. The course offered me 2 internships, which was pretty important for me because what I was doing was switching a bit towards chemistry side. And I had only my background in biology, but with my internships and everything, I was able to learn the chemical side as well. So those internships were super helpful. And the master's, it was great. And then I got my PhD. But I would like to focus more on my bachelor's side, part, because that's what you guys are going through. I think like not everyone in BMS Biomedical Science of ANDC College goes to pursue a PhD or master's, but I think they have 100% success rate in people figuring out what they want to do after that. None of us were really confused. Like people knew if they don't want their future in science, if they wanted to do MBA or they wanted to just go and do job or they want to do MSc or anything. We just had figured it out. It was the course was so intense. So either you know that you don't like science or you know that you love it and you are completely involved in it. And I was the second part, of course. And the course helped me so much with all my interviews. Till date, I never prepared for the exams, the entrance exams that were there during for the master's admission. So my score for all those stiffer exams and everything, it sucked. It was above 100. I did not get a good rank, but it was good enough to get the interview round. And once you're in the interview round, that's just having a discussion and letting the other person know that even if you don't know the answer, you can apply your mind to answer those things. And that I think BMS trained us really, really well, because when you study all the subjects, like everything, molecular, cellular, immuno, everything, you have the capacity to answer those questions, like apply your mind to that. So that was something, that was my best takeaway from ANDC BMS. And that's all. I think that's all for me.
Thank you for sharing your journey. It surely has given us hope that eventually we'll also be able to find out what we want to do ahead. Okay. So next,
you definitely will. There's no doubt in that. You either will come to know that you hate this subject or you love it. That's for sure.
Surely. So next up we have Mr. Rahul Taha. He is an integrated PhD student at International Magic Line Research School for Molecular Biology, Germany. He did MSc in Biotechnology from IIT Bombay. It's a pleasure to have you here today with us. Over to you, sir.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for inviting me. Okay, so I started my journey with BMS and I passed it in 2017, and I was one of those students who used to be very confused about what to do after graduation, whether I should go for research or I should look for some job, do MBA. And I was one of those students. I got admission. I got few acceptance for from good colleges for my masters in India, but I did not join them because of the fact that I was so confused. I waited for a year. I made up my mind, and then I joined IIT Bombay for my masters. Well, yeah, and after doing my master's from IIT Bombay, I was still confused that, I mean, I know that I wanted to do, I like reading science stuff and I want to do research, but I still couldn't make up my mind that what topic should I work on for my PhD. And yeah, then I found this program where I'm right now. It is an integrated PhD program where you get lab rotations, around 3 lab rotations before you choose the topic for the PhD, so that you can actually make a very informed decision to join a PhD topic. Yeah, and yeah, throughout this whole, throughout this whole journey, I gave so many interviews. I cleared so many. I mean, I gave so many exams, NET, TIFR, and all those things. And whenever I gave those exams, I used to, I did not actually prepare a lot for those exams, because of the fact that we had such a good syllabus, informative syllabus in the biomedical science, that it almost covered everything. And I felt so confident after, I just brush up my concept that my teacher has taught me. And it was, and all exams went very well after doing this. And I feel that, yeah, this course, and not just the theory part, but also the practical course that we had in our department, and those practical courses have taught me how to prepare for the interviews. Because I mean, I remember we used to prepare for the viva session, and yeah, we used to take mock vivas of each other. And yeah, so this course has a lot of information in terms of theory, as well as you develop your analytical skill, how to answer logically. Whether you don't have to remember the facts, but if you know the logic, you can reach to the answer, and you can have a very good interview during the for your PhD or for your masters, wherever you are going in. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I completely agree with you. Indeed, it helps us to apply our brains and head into the subject. Thank you so much. Our next speaker for the day is Mr. Shazeeb Ahmad. He is a PhD student at Garf Laboratory at Helmond's Institute of RNA-based Infectious Research. He did his MS in Focus Life Sciences at University of Würzburg, Germany. Thank you so much, Shazeeb, for being with us today. Over to you.
Hi. Thank you, Siddharth, for introducing. My name is Shazeeb Ahmad. As you all might be knowing, Rahul, Shrishti, Aparna, Madan, we all were in the same batch. We passed out in 2017. How we started, one thing in my school life, it was pretty clear that I want to go for research, not for medicine, because of my family. Most of my family members are researchers, and so my upbringing was in that direction. What I was not knowing certainly about is biomedical science course. So I came to Delhi University in 2014 to take admission in Venkateshwara College, Venki, in biochemistry. And I remember it was a Ramadan time, and I was fasting at that time, and my father was there with me. So we just went inside the Venki College. And they were the faculty member of Venkateshwara College was there, and they offered us water. And I was like, we are fasting, and they were quite sympathetic at that time, and they invited us inside. And then he was like, Beta, you came from a small town. What do you want to do? Please explain me. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to do this stuff, whatever I had at that time, whatever I understood, biology or infection biology or molecular biology, everything I explained. And he was like, okay, biochemistry is good, but what you are saying is very medical oriented research. And why won't you go for biomedical science and take admission? And I was surprised. Oh, is there any course like that? And she was like, yeah. And she basically introduced me about this course in detail, like syllabus and everything. And the same day, she was like, run and go to ANDC Biomedical Science. And on her advice, basically, she was at that time HOD in Venki College. And on her advice, basically, I just came to ANDC College. And I still remember Archana ma'am and Sunita ma'am was sitting together. They were kind of our best friends too. So they were sitting together, and they saw my profile and talked to me, and they were like, welcome, that's just the place for you, basically. So yeah, as Shrishti and other people also explained, that biomedical science is a huge package of biology, medicine, chemistry, and it bring crowd from all over India, multi-state crowd basically. and very talented student from every state and have done so many good things. So there will be competition, of course, but there were, I remember, at least in our batch, it was very positive competition. We were helping each other. We were interacting quite a lot with each other. We had societies like Think Lab, or even people had their small groups and they used to discuss science and all this stuff. So it was pretty good time. We were discussing in the lawn before the Viva what question will appear. Somebody who's coming out from the Viva asking them what was the question asked and discussing the possibilities and so on. So it was quite discussive environment. We discussed a lot of things and so on. And then in the end of biomedical science, again, as I mentioned, came with this idea that I have to go to the research. So one thing was sure that, and meanwhile, I worked with Urmi at the time, Urmi Bajpayee's lab, for 2 years almost in the bacteriophage therapy project. It was also quite good experience over there, learned a lot of things in her lab. And the scientific upbringing has been developed basically in Dr. Urmi Bajpayee's lab, and the practical courses that we have attended, just workshop organized by Dr. Gagan Dhawan and so on, was always very informative. So what was I clear, as she mentioned, you will be clear by the end of biomedical science what you want to do. I was also very clear that I want to go for master in abroad. That one thing was pretty sure that I want to go. If I will not be selected, I will do 1 semester course for master anywhere and then apply for summer semester anywhere else. So I was preparing for that. And got a couple of offers. I've been selected, like the same course where Aparna was there, Master Focus Life Science Molecular Biology course in Heidelberg. So I've decided to come to Würzburg in Master Focus Life Science because it was a fast tech program and was quite good, looked quite attractive program. So I came here, and ever since then I'm in Würzburg. So basically I did my master thesis in basically. So yeah, what I was confused was during my master. So when I was doing master, I was really confused where to specialize in. So I did master thesis in cardiovascular medicine, but then I was not so happy with that field. So then again, I did 2 internships and then ended up doing PhD again in infection biology, where I started at Dr. Bajpayee's lab basically. So ended up doing infection research. So currently I'm in the Helmholtz Institute of RNA-based infection research. It's a quite young institute. You should look for those who are looking for PhD, might look for the graduate program at Helmholtz Institute or Helmholtz Center for Infection Research at Braunschweig. They have quite attractive program. It's a quite young institute. A lot of really brilliant researchers from all over the world. So I ended up being a PhD. Can't even imagine. I was talking to my friend Mayuri yesterday, and I was like, we came in biomedical science, nurturing ourselves, fighting in the garden, debating in the Think Lab club, going for partying. Accenture was there at the time. We used to do college fest, and now look, we are doing PhD. At that time, when our senior used to come, we were like, oh my God, PhD is such a big thing. And now we ended up doing that. So it's been a lot of experience, a lot of learning, plus a lot of joy and fun. So yeah, that was my journey. Over to, I think, next person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shazeeb. I am so happy that you shared your experience, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience had smiles on their faces because we all can relate to the on-campus activities which we all did in the department. Thank you so much. And our last but not the least, thank you. Our last but not the least speaker for the evening is Mr. Madan Khadiwada. He did his master's in leading international vaccinology education, master's in vaccinology. Presently, he's working as a researcher at University of Antwerp, Belgium, on vaccines and immunization. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the organizing committee at first to organize this very informative session. So to introduce myself, I'm Madan. And as my friends already told, I'm from the ANDC BMS batch 2014-17. And like everybody, I'm the last speaker, so sorry, it's easier for me to summarize what my friends already told. So as everyone did, I also tried medical. I'm from Nepal, I'm not from India. So I tried medical back home for 1 year, and unluckily, it didn't go well. So I was trying to explore what could be the next thing to do, and I was also interested to do research. So I thought that I started to search for the programs which I could study in Nepal or in India, and I came across the program of biomedical science at University of Delhi, and I applied. And then I was lucky to get the admission at ANDC, thanks to my professor for accepting me. And okay, why BMS? If you tell, there were two things. One, I had a passion for medical science. Another, I had a passion for research. So I couldn't think of a better course than this to combine two of my passions. So biomedical science was a perfect subject for my undergrad degree, and I think that maybe you are also choosing for the same. And let me just emphasize that you will not regret for studying biomedical science because the scope is vast and beyond. So after doing the biomedical science, my goal was always to go further and further. Like since I was already in India, I thought for my master's I had to go abroad, and then I started applying, like my friends told, since fourth semester, because most of the application in Europe, they open from October until January, mid-January, or end of January, or first week of February, depending on when you apply. And I was lucky, as well as my education during the biomedical get into the master's in vaccinology, which is like the leading international vaccinology education. And I got a full scholarship from European Union to study this master's. And after completing my master's, now I'm working as a researcher on vaccines and immunization field at University of Antwerp. So basically, if you Can you hear me? Sorry, I lost.
Yeah,
Sorry, Madan, we lost you. Yeah,
yes,
from.
yes, yes.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, so sorry, the internet. I think some of the tips that I would like to give you could be, first, you have to start searching, because the biomedical science study that we study is quite vast, but at the same time it exposes us to different fields. For example, molecular biology, cell biology, immunology, biochemistry, genetics and genomics, and many more. So there is a lot of knowledge that we acquire during our biomedical science, and it will help us not only for the interview, but also to get into some of the best universities in the world. So I think DU is a very good platform. ANDC professors, they were amazing on what we learned and what we got from there. And today, wherever we are, along with my friends, I think it's all because of the education from ANDC. So I think we totally agree on that, and keep applying. Another tips would be keep applying. If you get rejection, don't think that that's the end. If one door closes, another door opens. So keep on applying. So that's what I would like to say, and I would be more than happy to answer questions from you. And yep, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madan. It was indeed an auditory pleasure to listen to you. And I would like to also take this opportunity and thank all the speakers for taking their time out and coming here and talking to their juniors and inspiring us, telling us how to apply. There is always, as Sarita mentioned, there is always this unachievable thought in our heads that we have self-created it, that, going abroad is a very big thing. As Shazeeb also mentioned, like doing a PhD seems a very major task, but after listening to you, after talking to you, I'm sure that, we feel that it is doable, it is achievable. Thank you so much for that. And now it is time for a question answer session. I'm sure that the participants and the students have a lot of questions which they want you to answer. I have a line of questions ready, and if any one of you have any more questions, the audience, please feel free to type it in the chat box. Meanwhile, I have certain questions which I already got from the Google form. The first question which was posted.
Siddharth, एक minute interrupt कर लो please.
Yes, yeah, please, sir. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Rahul, Srishti. Hello, कैसे हो? मदन, सृष्टि, राहुल, अपर्णा, सबको छोटा सा रिक्वेस्ट है, नेक्स्ट टाइम या चाहिए अभी हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को ना एक छोटी सी रिक्वायरमेंट है, जिस भी इंस्टीट्यूट में आप हैं उसमें क्या क्या ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल हैं वो भी उनको बता दीजिए, ताकि उनके लिए थोड़ा सा इजी हो जाएगा कि ये कोर्सेज हैं, ये फैकल्टी है, क्योंकि आप लोग बिल्कुल सही जज हैं इस टाइम. ये ऑनलाइन देखने से इनको नहीं पता चलेगा. बेस्ट जज, बेस्ट लैब्स, क्योंकि एक ही लैब में सारे अच्छे नहीं होते. बेस्ट प्रोफेसर्स जिनके पास जाया जा सकता है, जहाँ कम से कम दुखी हो ये लोग, और कौन से कोर्सेज बहुत अच्छे हैं, जहाँ की फैकल्टी बहुत अच्छी है. ये थोड़ा सा एक सेशन मेरा अगर टाइम हो तो कर सकते हो आप कभी भी, जिससे इनको थोड़ा ज्यादा अच्छा फील आएगा. बल्कि दिखा के, क्योंकि अभी हमारे लिए बच्चे हैं, आपके लिए भी बहुत छोटे हैं ये, क्योंकि जो स्ट्रगल आपको करनी पड़े वो इनकी थोड़ी बच जाए. दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट, क्योंकि आप लोगों ने बहुत स्ट्रगल की होगी जब सर्च किया होगा. मे बी किसी सीनियर से हेल्प मिली होगी, मे बी नहीं मिली होगी. तो अगर आप उस टाइप से बच्चों की हेल्प करोगे तो मेरे हिसाब से थोड़ा ज्यादा बेटर होगा.
Sure, thank you, sir.
Sure.
I still remember you used to say कि दूसरों की ठोकर खा से ही सीख लो, कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि ठोकर खा के.
खुद ठोकर खाना जरूरी नहीं है बेटा. दूसरे अगर गिर गए गड्ढे में तो देख लो और रुक जाओ.
तो मेरा मानना है your statement, sir. Exactly.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, like, Madan, since Gagan sir just told me, Madan mentioned that he did live vaccinology. So University of Antwerp was one of the universities that he went, since he goes to 3 universities. And the 4th, the internship he chooses. So yeah, if you really want to do infectious and tropical diseases, more focused on immunology, it's a very, very good courses, because it really just focus on infectious and tropical diseases, and you can get really good labs and collaborations. I mean, Redboud is one of the collaborations, so you can know, like, it's a very good one.
Yeah, sorry if I can just say some of the things. The program that I did, it's the Erasmus program. So the Erasmus program is basically the scholarship programs that has been awarded by the European Union. So what you have to do is that if you want to apply for the program that I was enrolled in, or that I graduated from, so just search for the Erasmus programs on the website, and you'll get a list of programs every year. I think it's around 100 programs like that has been awarded by the European Union, and there are couple like fixed seats for scholarships, and they prioritize people from the developing countries and out from the Europe. Like in this program, like there is a rule that 75% of the participants has to be outside from the Europe. So I think if you want, I think it would be a very good opportunity, because since you are asking about the scholarships, to be honest, in Europe, scholarships are quite less. I wouldn't say it's not possible. You might get admission, but to get a scholarship, it's a very, very tough thing. So one of the things that you can do is search for the Erasmus program, specifically for not for the 3rd year, sorry, because the applications are already closed, but those of you who are in the 2nd year, the application usually starts to open since end of October or first week of November, and it's until mid-January. So try to search for the programs. There are programs on the vaccinology masters that I did, or there are for the infectious disease and One Health. There are for botany, everything, whatever you want according to your interest, you can find a program. Just try to make up your mind what you want to do, because since we studied so many subjects, we might feel that everything is interesting, but in masters, you are going into it's like a funnel strategy, that in the bachelor's you learn everything, in masters you go for more of it specialized subjects, and in the PhD you become expert in that. That's how it works. So try to see what maybe you are more interested on immunology, or you are interested to do infectious disease. Try to see that, and it could be one of the options to apply for the Erasmus program for you all. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madan.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Just for a minute. Okay, thanks. I just put Erasmus Mundus on the chat, because in case you guys want to look up afterwards, that's what Madan was talking about. But I think personally, the biggest thing for me, the biggest help for me and Aparna was going to the Europe education fair, or just any education fair. There are a lot of those education fairs, especially around Jan or Feb in India. And there we were able to like go through all the universities, they actually come in person over there, they have their stall and they hand over brochures and everything. And I think those are really helpful. And especially with the COVID period, I think it would be online now. So you must attend those, because that helps you get an idea about the universities, the countries, because I still remember, I don't think I even knew all the countries that are there in Europe. My geography is so bad. And it was at the education fair that I knew that where these universities are. So to get an idea, those fairs are really helpful. Just from my personal experience, I went to Radboud University, the medical 2 master's program, both in English, molecular mechanism of diseases, which is more of basic biology with cancer research, stem cell research, and molecular biology, immunology. That is pretty great program. They have collaborations all over the world. And the other one, the BMS, biomedical science, that's the more applicative one. You can be specializing in molecular life sciences, health sciences, or neurosciences. The advantage of this medical faculty was it offers scholarship. So I had a university central scholarship, which waived off all my fee and everything. And then I had a faculty specific scholarship, which was paying me like stipend every month. And it becomes quite important when you come from India and go to Europe, the difference in economy, it gets costlier. So that would be one key point of for Dutch universities. They have funding, and especially for international students, they have specific scholarships. That's all. Thanks.
Yeah, in case of Belgium, you really don't have a lot of fundings. But when I went, the institutional cost was pretty low. Like I had to pay the basic minimum account. But now when I passed out, they had raised the tuition fees. So keep in mind, because there's just one scholarship that's for whole of the Belgium, and it's pretty competitive because there are a couple of good colleges in Belgium as well. And that's the scholarship that goes for all of the masters, irrespective of it, whether it's biomedical sciences or some other courses. Also, like when Shrishti mentioned, we went to the European Fair. If you want quality information, you can also check Master Portal. You can choose your country, your specific specialization that you want. It will give you all the course list and everything. And also that, I think Shazeeb might have gone there, and Rahul, for German colleges, I am also mentioning that on the chat list for you. Just the name.
Maybe can I just say something? So those who are looking for doing master in Germany, mostly since in German university or higher education system there is no tuition fees, so the funding for your living is very rarely, so you can't find funding for your living. They don't provide normally. They are they provide some fellowship, but for your master thesis, there are some very specialized course for which they provide, like in music or something like that. So very rarely in science. That's what I want to raise out. But what is easy is since there is no tuition fees, you need a blocked account to show some 8,000 euro, and then you can come. And basically then in Germany, what I have seen so far in many universities, in Würzburg itself and other cities, is it's very easy to find here a student assistant job where you will work on a certain project and you will be paid for 500 euros. Easily you can earn 500 euro, which is more than enough to live in a mediocre city. Not so if you go for Berlin or Munich, it's crazy expensive, but like Würzburg, Heidelberg, or Cologne or Bonn, these are very student-friendly city, and if you can easily find a student dorm to live in, then 500 euro is more than enough to survive if you are not a very party type and not attending a lot of events. So 500 euro is more than enough. At University of Würzburg, there are multiple courses in biological science. So let me advertise my university here. There is Master Focus Life Science, very specialized course, but it's not oriented to infection biology or anything. So in the first semester, so it's a fast track course. In the first semester, there will be only lecture, and that lecture series is called Methods and Topic in Life Science. And in that series, basically all the professors from the university will come and introduce their lab, what their research topic is. Very specialized, very tough to follow in, because you come studying entire course, and then you have all of a sudden lecturers who are talking only about their research. And then in the second semester, you're supposed to do a master thesis. And in the third semester, if you want, you can start PhD. If you don't, then you can basically finish your third and fourth semester and start PhD. That's what I did. But in the third semester, you can start your PhD, and remaining 2 semesters of your master, you can finish during your PhD. That's the Master Focus Life Science. There's other courses, specialized courses. So one is Translational Neurosciences. It's a 2-year regular program. Other is Master Bio EU. So there is a list of master courses in University of Würzburg called Master Bio EU. EU stands for European Union. And there is molecular biology course, computational biology course, infection and immunity, animal behavior science, neuroethology, if you are interested in neurobiology. So there's also neurology course, and so on. So there is a list of courses in molecular biology where you can apply for. And so Master Focus Life Science and Translational Neuroscience, the last date is tomorrow. But for Bio EU program courses, there is last date till I think somewhere in the May. So you still have a lot of time to prepare and apply for that courses. If you're interested, you can look into it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shazeeb.
Thank you. There are a couple of more questions. One of the questions which was put up in the Google form was how to write a good motivation letter and how to answer most common questions which are asked while applying for course, how in the future, what is the thing that is making you fall for the split population. There was polarization where some people want to write their heart out, or some people had an opinion whether we should decorate our answers, fabricate it. What should we, if anyone can answer?
Later, to be frank, I think difficult thing. Like we used to discuss with Aparna and Srishti, like what could be the best way to write a motivation. It's always what I think the one thing you do when you write motivation is try to be honest and try to list your strength. What you want, just know when you write a motivation. For example, if you write sciences, what strength you have done, or how your skills and experience that you have learned in your bachelor and the master, or what you have to help you to study the masters. Try to just be honest, but at the same time try to strength. I was a friend, they asked me what is the best solution. Never try to exaggerate the answer, because if you try to say that for things that you don't know, or you told that you work in some of the projects you did not, if you got accepted in the program, they'll find out, and that will make you feel bad. So just try to your strength help you to try to do your master's research study, or how it will help you to go forward. So try to divide in that sections and try to write your ambition and your passion behind why you want to pursue that. So you are very much interested and passionate to pursue that thing. I think that's one of the formula that we can use. But yeah, to make it pretty or decorative, I didn't do that. So that's like it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we completely agree with Madan over here as well, because the professors over there, like I think, read like hundreds of SOPs every year, and to make yourself stand out, you really need to be, how do you say, honest about what you would like to do. And I think it should be clear, like, what are your future goals, but a little bit like, you know what, I want to do a PhD, and your master course is like a bridging stone for me. And you should always have a supporting, how do you say, technique or research work that you did. It always helps you out. It just makes your SOP stands out. As far as fabricating, I won't say like put less on your SOP, but it should not be cutthroat, like, oh yeah, I did this. It should just flow, but not overly flow. Like, they should not be reading a diary of a person. It should not also be like that. It should be well balanced. So that's for me.
I just want to add one thing. Please do Google. Do not copy paste material. And other thing is SOP is super personal. We have already established Aparna is my best friend, so like we made it sure we had a rule during our application process not to read the SOP. Even if you don't want to copy, it goes in the back of your mind that you read something like that and you start writing it in that way. Do not do that. So keep your SOP personal. Do not Google anything and write it more in a story format. Because if they want to know what are internships you did, they can just look at your CV. You're sending CVs as well. So SOP is not your CV. SOP is how you did this, and this made me like this particular research made you realize that you are interested in this field, and that's why you want to explore that more. And I saw this lab in Acharya University, which is doing this active research, and I wanted to pursue more, like in something in that field, and I think I will be a great fit for your program. And even though I don't have much experiences in this field, I'm eager to learn things like that. So it's just you have to be motivated enough while writing your motivation letter. So it's more you have to write it in an interesting way. And SOP is tough thing. Writing an SOP does you write it. So it will take some you'll make it. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. Another question which one of us had, since most of the programs, not all, but majority of programs in Europe, not just country, but in Europe in general, master's program, so people had this fear that if we, like, that's a question. So if anyone program and due to some uneven circumstances, personal or public, the person is made to come back to India, will it be recognized, and what will be the career options if a person does a 1 year master's instead of 2 years master's? Or is there anything related to 1 year? Is there any division?
I don't know, because every year the curriculum, changes or like gets improved. When we were applying, or at least I was applying, we went. I think it was only Finland and UK for a time which were getting 1 year master degrees, because it's the opposite way. Majority of them provide 2 years in Europe, as far as I am concerned, very less 1 year masters. As far as 1 year master degree courses is concerned, it totally comes out about the ECTS you have, the credit score system, and most of them only recognize 2 years unless you're going from Finland to UK or UK to Finland, or continuing your PhD over there, or you have an exceptional resume and internships. These all also play a very big role. So it totally depends. You took what you did post your masters in order to get a job. 1 year is allotted in UK, if I'm not wrong, or maybe it's fine 2 years. The scope of 1 year, it is kind of restricted as far as I know. Maybe there's.
Now, you add up a little bit, I think I would tell you to masters, because 1 year masters is for the professional, people who are companies or organizations for a couple of years, and they would like to have a change in atmosphere or try to gain more academic experience. Then they go for 1 year masters. But for us, I think 2 years masters is very vital, because one year is too much to do in a research. 1 year goes quite fast, and until, as like Aparna mentioned, which means that we already have a bachelor's degree of 3 years, and if you are doing 1 year master, so in total of your bachelor's plus master's, which means that you would be restricted even to pursue PhD, not only but also in US or in Canada. So I think 2 year masters would be the best fit, and that would also give you more exposure to what you want to do on. If somebody wants to add.
Yes, Madan already mentioned. 2 year master would be a good choice. And most of you have 2 year masters. I already mentioned UK and Finland is exception. But if you're doing 1 year master from UK, you can still find a PhD position in European countries. I have a from Imperial College, and now she is a PhD, and she has a year program for 4 year. I can't exactly, but I don't know how to. I think it will be rather difficult. Plus, if you have aspiration to go for US for your PhD, and it will be first in 4 year undergrad program, when I started there, 3 year from India, and then only 1 year in total. I'm reading CV and motivation. Difficult so that you are not everything. You should novel. Plus, it should make a sense of story where you want to do. Will help to achieve what you want to do. Better. In the past 2-3 years, a lot of juniors are sending there. As Srishti already mentioned, it's not rude. It's not that we don't want you to come here. It's just if you copy paste or if you get biased, it will be rather difficult for you to come than writing honest thing. Me and one of my colleagues in Master Focus Life Science, Ashwin from NIT Bangal, NIT Warangal's alumni had made a web page called Bio. They did is what we're doing or what we have started from this session. They have already started for quite a long time. So they interview seniors one-to-one and try to their experiences in different like it's a complex it's a different interview on different topic like how to apply, how to see, how to seek PhD in academia, in industry or in academic institute and so on. A lot of different lectures are there from NIT Warangals and different NITs in India. Their lectures are mentioned on the site. It's how NIT work. I will write in the chat box. You might look. Maybe later you try to listen. It may be helpful for you to write your SOP or CV. So as I said, SOP or CV is something which is your own work, and nobody will write you for yourself. For on your behalf, basically. So you have to write it. You have to find a way to write it. So take help from materials, but write your own original, authentic thing. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We also have one question where people are confused. If they do masters in India and they go for a PhD position in Europe, will it be better, or is it better to do masters and PhD both in Europe? Which is more feasible? If someone can throw some light on that.
Maybe I think Rahul.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So I would say that doing masters from India and then doing PhD outside was more, I would say, more helpful for me because I have realized that masters, the program in which currently I am here, the masters is very, I mean, they try to cover a lot of things in very few lectures, and it becomes overwhelming. And doing masters in India has this advantage that they are very, I mean, I would say that they are very elaborative and deep into the topic that they to teach, and this helps you to build a theoretical base. And I feel that doing masters from India had built a good amount of theoretical base for me. And then I was comfortable on deciding whether I should go for a PhD or do something else. And then I actually feel like I should go for a PhD, and I applied here. So I would say that masters in outside, but in my cases, I would say that the masters was a bit better for me to decide what I want to do to be more sure, and then decide to go for PhD. And for PhD, I of course wanted to outside because of the international funding that you get and the ability to collaborate in the research. And also, there are so many things most of you know how it works in India and how it works abroad. So yeah, that's why I wanted to go for PhD abroad and masters in India. Yeah, I would suggest. I mean, for this is for my opinion, and I would like to hear also from people who did masters from. I mean, Srishti and Shazeeb could tell us that how the masters, the PhD after doing master from abroad only is different, and yeah.
I completely agree with Rahul. His point is completely correct that India does have more theoretical base. If you study, do your bachelor's or master's in India, I saw that difference when I came here for my master's as well. That for the few subjects that I had already studied in, Rahul, thanks. Thank you. Sorry. So when I came here for my master's, I knew that for my bachelor's, I had a more extensive knowledge base as compared to my classmates. So that's true. So I agree with your point, but the reason I decided to do my master's here and then going for PhD here was because there's a lot of difference between teaching we are being taught in India or being taught in Europe. So this is big, and I didn't want to just jump into PhD, a completely new environment without having any experience in the kind of teaching methods and the way like what's expected in a lab and how do you have to think and everything. It's quite a lot. The difference is huge. So I decided to do masters here to be more adapted to the European way of studying or your PhD and everything, and how you have what is expected of you and everything. And when you're a student, you're allowed to make mistakes. So I'm a really self-conscious person. So I would rather not make a mistake and do something more to do that. So as a conscious person, maybe it was easier for me to come here, make mistakes, but I'm still a student, try to get into the European framework and everything, and then start my PhD. But I think I agree with Rahul's decision. So I'll make what he did.
Yeah, one more thing about that for those people who are very confused, very I mean, I was confused, so I can relate to this that whether someone should do masters. You know, someone is completing a single lab before knowing what the lab is doing. I know you work in the lab for a short period of time to know what it is doing, and then doing a PhD or decide whether PhD or not. It is a better way of it is to make a well-informed decision. And the program which I am in right now has this advantage that they provide lab, and I have collaboration, and I can actually explore that I want to do those lab for 2 months, and then I can decide whether PhD in those lab or not. And this is a very good advantage of, and so there are two about these two programs which I would say that would be helpful for you guys. One is so these two programs are a tie-up between Max Planck Society and University of Göttingen, and one is IMPRS Genome Science, and one is Biology. You explore the labs through your lab rotation. From the second year, you can start your PhD. Yeah, so for those people who are very sure that they want to do PhD after masters and they're a bit of hesitant that they are not and they're not very sure of their interest, they can try these programs as well. Yeah, as University of Max Planck Society here has around 3 institutes. You have access to 3 faculties of institute. One is Max Planck Institute, Chemistry, University Medical of University this Göttingen, I guess. Yeah. So there are 3 colleges. You have access to all the 3 faculties. You can go to any lab which you want. You can do your laboration and then be learn about your PhD. And this is a very important advantage point for me. Yeah, that I chose. Just to emphasize on that.
Thank you so much, Rahul.
I wanted to make one more. So these graduate programs are quite good. Apart from MBA, you also have the similar graduate program where you rotate into 3 to 5 labs, depending on which institute you are. So and then decide where to basically do PhD. But then when these are the program when you are directly applying for PhD. But in Master, for example, Master Focus Life Science, so I did in the Master of Internship for joining my PhD, which lab to go for. So that was my whole in Europe. It's more of like a real research based. Like we in bachelor we do that everybody is more or less repeating every year. Whereas here the courses will be like you will go to a research institute or a lab and you will work on what the research topic that they are working on, and not on a well-defined protocol. At least in the master, that's how it works. So your lab courses will be like doing short internship or short research activity in an institute, in a lab, to go on. Regarding, I can see a couple of people quite quickly put the question in Germany. So in Germany, it goes that if you have been selected, you have to show a blocked account before coming to Germany. And at my time, it was 7,000 euro and only 8,400 or 5. You can Google it. What is the cost? That money to fix either in Deutsche Bank or in Kotak Mahindra Bank. And you have, before applying to visa, this amount of money in a year. Before applying to visa, and you have visa pass, that you have this much money in your account survive. Money you don't have to spend, your own organization. You can be a student, assistant lab, and can earn and so on. But however, even to apply before coming here, that he will give you a assistant job. You have the money, and you show this money.
Yeah, I think I agree with Shazeeb. It was good for me as well. And I think for most of the students over here, Madan, we do have to show a block out that we can survive in case a scholarship falls off, like it does not go through, or the other problem. It's just part of the visa. And to be honest, between Belgium and Germany, it totally depends on living. Some part of Germany is so cheap, but some part of Germany it's expensive as well. So it really is Antwerp. It's expensive. Like it depends on the city center or far off the city center. It all depends on that. For me, it wasn't that expensive because I stayed near my campus, which was not the city center. It was pretty cheap for me when I finished my master. And as I told, all students, even as a research assistant in some labs, you still student jobs pretty easily in the university itself. You can apply. It's a big problem. When you go there, it's very easy to find because there are a lot of students there and also come like this and work over there.
Stressing on your participation, student city, that is a huge advantage. Finding a university city, a student city where there's more student population than the working class. It's really helpful, more environment, which could be a very obvious. Dutch countries are pretty good with English-speaking population, but if you go a bit south or Germany or something, you might find some language barriers. So it's always better to find students cheaper, because where the city where you find more students, you have more students discount, stuff like that. So always would prefer city over a big city, a commercial city or something. It's a convenient choice for like going abroad for the first time.
Exactly, your advantage if the thing is taught, if your master program is totally taught in English. There are also mixed master program in Germany where it's in the medium of instruction is in English and German. There you have to be careful. They will only talk German. They mention English and German that they want. So choose the master program which is strict. They say a medium of instruction English. It will be international and it will be in English. But if in English and German, don't go for that. First of all, they require you to have B1 or B2 level of German knowledge, because they are written already, medium of instruction is English. And second, it's a huge population of German in the master program, and so professors also, it's easier for them, it's their mother tongue, they have anything is in German, and since majority of population in these courses are Germans, so they will talk in German. A master of English instructed courses, specific English, good for the languages, and then you have a better social side. But if you are an international student and you network with your international student community, it's not that difficult. And don't learn, depending how much people are curious to learn new languages, personal taste. It definitely improves your social life. Academia, mostly speak German. And if you are in a lab, so everybody will speak German. If you're stuck in a lab where 90% are German, then you will speak German. It's the same thing if you look at Hindi. That's them. So if 5 German mates in a lab, right? And somebody also asked, what is the possibility of doing medicine in country? In each country of Europe, medicine is taught language, at least C2 level of language. So if you're doing in France, you need to know C2 level of French. If you're doing in German, you know C2 level of German. After that, you have to pass certain tests in Germany to show that you are capable of studying medicine. It's really difficult, and each university have only 5-6, and they prefer to get students. So it's very difficult. Unless and until you are from French, you can afford to have German course here, your expenses for 2-3 years to live and prepare medical school. Then if you can't, if you're strong, you can't manage it. That's I would say.
Right, there's also a question.
Rahul,
yes, sir.
Madan, तुम्हारे कमरे में लगाने दोगे? मतलब जब आना हमारे पास और उसको करना मिले तो नीचे बिछा नहीं.
Yes, my flat is big. I'm living in an apartment, so I can allow. So it depends. In Germany, there is a rule. If you plan that, you have to show that stay for this point of time.
I know, yes. In case accommodation को extra लग जाते हैं set होने में, तो उसको help कर दोगे ना अगर आपके एरिया में होगा तो ये पूछे.
Yes, sure.
जब सभी कर देते हैं.
और मना नहीं करने देंगे हम. पूरा recording हम मना नहीं करेंगे.
No, sir, we have
Yeah, they have read and reached out to the students. I'm sure they want to help. That's their primary.
फेमस सेरेमनी के इतना फेमस है भैया, इसीलिए इतना हेल्प हो रही है, क्योंकि ये सीनियर्स की हेल्प में को बोल रहा हूँ कि सीनियर्स ही नहीं है हमारा स्ट्रांग. तो प्लीज हेल्प लेने का मतलब ये नहीं है उन्हें एक छोटी-छोटी बात के लिए आप इरिटेट करें, कोशिश करें, खुद सर्च करें, जब ना आए तब उनसे छोटी-छोटी बात करो ये मना करें. तो ये हमको सोचना है कि हम अपने सीनियर पर भी ज्यादा ना करें.
Every year they have to guide, 50, 60 or every year you do that. So it's frustrating them.
Exactly.
There's only one thing that we did around 3-4 years ago, और ये जो एडमिशन प्रोसीजर है ये हर साल बहुत है. पहले वाले जो बैच थे उनको 3 year 4 year वाला चक्कर नहीं पड़ा था, लेकिन उस वाले में इतने सारे लोग इस तरह से आए थे इन कंट्रीज में, इनके पास इमिग्रेशन क्राइसिस हो गया था, तो हमारे बैच में और स्ट्रिक्ट कर दी गई रेगुलेशंस. तो ये बहुत चेंज है. वी डिड इट 3 to 4 years ago, so लेटेस्ट क्या चल रहा है वो हम लोग ट्रैक भी है, तो अपने साइड से रिसर्च करके आना पड़ेगा, तो वो काफी नेसेसरी हो जाता है.
Yeah,